Greetings. Hello. Did I set all the things up I need to set up? No, of course not. It is never as elegant as we wish it to be. Never. We forgot to turn on the bot. Let's turn on the bot. Of course, we forgot to launch the bot. There we go. It's set up. Hi, I'm Jim. Once again, we're going to be diving back into Torment Tides of Numenera. I don't have as much time today as I would like. That pretty much we can say that for all available days in time. So we're going to try to get through what we can here. We're going to look just to make the most of what time we have. And we shall do stuff. So here we go. Your reflections can appear in the labyrinth based on your actions in the real world. Some of them can give you special bonuses. But is it truly the real world? Do we know? That's very close up. Okay. So here we are wandering around with the Last Castoff and met Hina, Rin, and Eritis, and we are looking... I think what happened last time is I mapped this place out, and I wanted to go back and check out the other areas, because we've now explored this area pretty much completely. I think a priority is going to be dealing with the thugs that were troubling Kian, because we need to rest, and we technically do have enough shins to pay to rest, but I would prefer it if we did not have to pay to rest. So that's a thing that we need to look into. Hopefully that will allow us to not have to pay to rest. But we need to rest, as you can see by these delightful zeros that are there on these characters. And this 3 isn't too great. So let me go ahead and check out, once again, just going to check out, oh, Great Devourer. No, I'm going to go ahead and check out the journal again, just so that I can remember what we're doing. Drakigen wants the magmatic amulet, which we'll look at later. Let's see, Tiber. I'm concerned. Rumblings of discontent. Briscoe, one of the Mamaver's lieutenants, wants to look for 2 patrols that went missing in the bloom. That might help. Servant of the Tides. Again, looking for, what, a person who's a portal? A being from beyond this reality opened through a gate in a man's body. Yes, okay. The Lost Shepherd. A doctor or someone who can help. Probably around here somewhere. Twice the trouble is actually, it's always the last one. This is the one that I'm trying to focus on. The two thugs are named Delny and Vrung, and they're hiding in the slum. There is no, me can't English. They're hiding in the slum of little Nylesh. I always do that. I put the I in front of the L, but it's behind the L. Little Nylesh. That's why I've been pronouncing it Nylesh. Little Nylesh. Nylesh. If I try to say if I say Nylesh, my tongue is going to try to make it Nylesh because of nihilism, so I'm going to probably pronounce it Nylesh until such time as I decide to change it again. They're hiding in that slum. I should track them down and have a talk with them. Okay. Alright, theoretically... Are we having a talk with them, or are we having a talk with them? I think that's really the question. Because the former I can handle. The latter, not so much. Not in this condition. We'll see. I mean, maybe. I'd prefer not to have to. Let's go this way.
I'm ready.
I'm glad you're ready. I'm glad at least one of us is. Also, there's equipment we should probably upgrade to at some point soon. Maybe by selling a bunch of stuff that would get us more monies. We'll see. Right now I'm just sort of mapping things out and figuring out where things are, and ooh, pretty. Light. The vast interior. Okay. The corpse of an insect of gigantic proportions lies here. On closer inspection, you see that it appears to be in the midst of getting absorbed into the wall. Good God. Wait a minute. Before I forget, because we know I was going to forget this. Hang on. And there we go. Just want to make sure I put the content warnings up. There apparently is a lot of Geiger this episode. Was there a point where I was like, where the icon changed? Or am I just imagining that? I imagined it. To Little Neliash. This way. Is there a big Neliash? Caravan guards. Yeah, Little Neliash. That's where we're supposed to be headed. So let's go ahead and do that first. It's almost like it's there for us. That's pretty too. Light. It's like the lamppost.
On it.
It's like a combination of a lamppost and macrame. I actually have no idea what macrame looks like. It's just a word I grabbed. There's a thing over there that's an inine. Okay, that's fine. We will come back and investigate, said Inine.
Of course we can help. Right, All?
Yes. You still trust all... Wait, you threw all away. The walls of this dwelling are covered in papers with various threats and slurs written on them. It's like graffiti. Bloom cultist, ink pot, bloom cultist. There's a pool to interact with if we're so inclined. Hello, cultist. The Vargellan must smash his instruments and end his heresy. What? Which Vargellan? I do not understand. The great devourer writhes and moans. The Vargellan tinkerer is to blame. Okay. Is there a Vargellan who lives in there that's causing issues? Is that what we're saying? Vargellan are interesting. They can just sort of change themselves to adapt to other things. If I remember correctly. Inkpot. This man is tall and gawkily thin. His wiry hair looks like an explosion of metal springs atop his head. He regards you with bright, feverish eyes that seem too large for their sockets, and smiles. Even as he motions you closer, the man is scribbling words on a scrap of paper. He has fastened some sort of harness around his body. It holds a tiny writing tablet and inkwell so he can continue to write as he moves about. Dozens of scrawl-covered notes are stuck to his leathery robes. There is the one who will aid the devourer. I'm very concerned about this devourer person. I've heard rumors of one fitting your description, one who helps those in need. Really? This is the opening line you use with everyone who passes by, isn't it? Help us, brother, he intones in a wet and breathy voice. We are extremities of the great devourer, and we beseech your aid to right a great wrong. Wait, extremities of the great devourer. Wait, Al, hold on. Let's talk about this extremities thing. Hey, New Year's streams, hey. Bloom cultists. The fancy name doesn't make Bloom cult, that's Makina. Bloom cultists, the fancy name doesn't make them any less crazy. Yeah. It's one of those days, isn't it? Yeah. You walk in the company of a heretic, I see. The awkward-looking man peers at Matkina, then scribbles furiously on his paper. But heresy has its roots in fear. Fear that chokes the ears and drowns out the voices of the great devourer. We do not hate the heretic. We pity her. The White One corrupts him. No matter, the wise will see reason. Yeah. We are those who venerate the bloom as divine and seek to become a part of it, if it will have us. He pauses. Only for what it needs, I guess. We are the only ones who can see that a great wrong has been done here. Okay, what's... I'll bite. What sort of wrong? A terrible torment, he whispered. He said the thing! He said the thing! He said it. It's right there. He said the name of the game. A terrible torment, he whispers. Visited a terrible torment. Visited upon the bloom, our god. It is the work of... Is that an L or an I? I cannot tell. If this is... Okay. Logically speaking, if this is a proper name, this is an I. Do you ever have that moment, looking at so many fonts, where you think to yourself, is this an L or an I? Encourage more of those top and bottom bars on capital I's. It's the only way to be sure. It's the work of Iaksu, the measurer and meddler, who dwells in that nodule of flesh. He raises his pen toward the house that sits on the other side of the platform, red and stinking and inflamed. Iaksu desires to understand the bloom, to quantify its impulses. This causes pain to our god. Yes, understanding is terrible. His eyes bulge even wider, and it occurs to you that you haven't once seen him blink. The evidence is clear for all to see in the raw and swollen flesh of Iaksu's house. We have warned Iaksu to stop his pokings and proddings and measurings, but he will not listen. What methods are left to us? He lets the question hang in the air, an unspoken threat. Perhaps you can help him to change his mind. Very well, I'll have a talk with Iaksu. I can try to work out some kind of compromise at least. No, deal with this problem yourself. Indigo Tide. At the word compromise, his mouth twitches. Try if you like, but blasphemers are loath to compromise. They're steeped in sin.
I'll remember that.
Anathema. Scriptures of the Great Devourer. This handful of crumpled papers is covered with a messy scroll. We'll find out what that is in a second. His face brightens and he pulls a handful of scribbled papers from a pocket and shoves them into your hands. Scriptures! Scriptures of the Great Devourer, to inspire your thoughts and guide your words. Another tortured smile cuts across his face. From the pen of Inkpot, who is me. Thank you for clarifying. This handful of crumpled papers is covered with messy scrawl. They purport to be part of the canon of the Bloom cult, but they seem little more than the incoherent ramblings of their author, a cultist named Inkpot. Most of the pages are covered with grimy fingerprints and thick, dried blotches of yellow phlegm. God! Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So, questions we can ask. What are all those papers on your robes? Can you tell me about your beliefs? Is it safe to drink the water from that pool? Why are you so obsessed with drinking from every pool you come across? I don't understand. Scriptures of the Great Devourer. They're ever-changing, in imitation of the bloom. You see? He tears one of the scribbled papers from his robe, crumples it up, and tosses it over the side of the platform. Those words are gone, forgotten, but new ones can be added as we like. That would really trouble me. I don't think I could let seeing someone write a thing down and then immediately throw it away. Like, that's He takes a scrawled paper from the little writing desk that is strapped to his body, spits a wad of yellow phlegm onto its back, and sticks it to his robe. Now these words are part of the canon. Oh, God! So the canon You know, one of the greatest tragedies in the transition from the first world to the ninth world was the loss of Post-its. I see that now, and would that Post-its had survived 4 billion years to be reclaimed, but no, we make our own in this day and time. Are those papers again? No. Can you tell me about your beliefs? I will not speak of beliefs, he frowns, but I will tell you what is true. First, that the bloom is a god, the only true god, and all that takes place within its body is solid and real. That which exists outside the bloom is an illusion, a cruel trick, a falsehood. Second, he intones, that our goal is to become one with the bloom, to transform ourselves into living embodiments of its will, and one day to be called its heart. Okay. That's nice. You want to be called to the bloom's heart. No, called to its heart. Yeah, that's right. You want to be called to the bloom's heart. What does that mean? His eyes glisten. When it wants us, the bloom will open a maw at our feet, or reveal a tunnel where one hadn't been before. The passage will close behind us, and we will never be seen again by human eyes, but we'll follow its turnings to the heart, and be one with the devourer at last, and pray to no one ever again. Yeah, you're just trying to survive. Tell me again about the... No, we're good. What do you think of the Mamavra? When her will was one with the blooms, we revered her. But no more. He frowns. She is no Mamavra, not anymore. Not to us. Another will be found in time. Her time is done. Soon the bloom will take her as well. So you think the ninth world's an illusion? Do you? I know it is. The people of that world try to tell you that life is not pain. They weave illusions and call them laws to protect the weak and the poor and the ugly, the malformed. But look closer and you'll see that they lie. He spits a gob of you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Content warning, phlegm. He spits a gob of yellow phlegm off the side of the platform. Only here in the bloom is the horror of life revealed without pretense. Becoming one with the bloom is our only hope of salvation. Well, you know. That's, yeah. Right. How do you plan to become one with the bloom? We clothe ourselves in its flesh, feast on its bile and viscera. If we are lucky enough to hear its voice, we empty our minds and let it govern our actions and our thoughts. Oh, you're welcoming that. That's nice. His long, misshapen fingers clench and unclench. The devourer will only call us to its heart when its will is one with ours. One day I will hear the bloom's voice clearly, not these vague whispers I must not doubt. Okay, that's nice. Let's talk about something else. Something else? His mouth twitches as if he's irritated to change the subject. Is it safe to drink the water from that pool? Better than safe. Those fluids are the holy secretions of the great devourer. To drink them is to put your mind in communication with the bloom. He leans closer to you and your eyes are drawn to the profusion of festering sores in his mouth. You can listen to its voice and know what it wants, for a time at least. Are you sure it's safe to drink the water from that pool? Of course! Drink the juices of the bloom and your mind will be open to its thoughts and desires. Farewell. Praise the great devourer. Yeah. And drink some of the pool. No. This pool is filled with yellowish water. A wide area around the pool is wet, suggesting that people have been drinking the unpleasant fluid and possibly bathing in it too. Let's look into the pool. Beneath the surface of the pool is a large reservoir of fluid. You can't see anything of interest in its depth. Drink some of... No. Nope. I'm gonna pass on that.
Look out below! Above! Sideways!
It's fair. Yaksu's shanty. Mamavra's courtyard. I mean, we could go into the shanty, but let's keep going this way for right now. We will look into that. We have that as a quest now, presumably. Yes, anathema. The experiments of Yaksu, a Vargellan researcher, have aroused the anger of some Bloom cultists. I've been asked to resolve the trouble between them. Stop Yaksu's experiments. Inkpot, the apparent leader of the Bloom cultists, claims that Yaksu's research... Don't click on that, I haven't finished reading it. ...is somehow hurting the Bloom. He asked me to stop Yaksu's measurements and investigations. Okay.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not? That's interesting. This tentacled maw appears to be dead. Its flesh is being reabsorbed into the Bloom. Why is this person transparent? Walks without fear. At first, you're not sure if your eyes are playing tricks on you. A semi-transparent man shuffles and struts before you, his body fading into and out of incorporeality. His once fine clothes have rotted away, his long beard looks to be host to any number of small vermin, and his eye sockets are disturbingly empty. Makina studies the man, mentally subtracting and adding his features, and suddenly gives a sharp intake of breath. She whispers, "Can it be? Can it be? No, he couldn't have survived." Somehow the man hones in directly on your face, and you have the unnerving feeling that he can see more than what's on the surface. The staring sockets are deep and cavernous, as if they contained depths and space beyond the confines of his skull. He says nothing to you. Makina, who is this man? This is the old Mamavra, don't you see? This man knows all the secrets of the Bloom. He was tied to it, bonded to it. I worked for him for years, alongside that bitch who occupies the position now. When he disappeared, she threw me out. I looked for him for a long time. She turns her attention to the bearded man. Sir, it's Matkina. You called me the White Death, remember? He turns his cavernous eye sockets to her, and they study her for a long time, considering. Life begins to seep into his face, and a small smile creeps across his lips. I think I remember. But memories are lost in the telling. He thinks again. Better to tell it now and have the story remembered. You say I am the old Mamavra, so we must speak of the new to understand my tale. That face so familiar. Mamavra? Yes, and she my White Death, I remember. Here we go. I feel as though there's a long dialogue tree coming. I must have liquid. To fortify the uvula and other parts. Walks Without Fear's lips part in a feral smile as he grabs at the last memories in his mind. The new Mamavra. What has she done worth mentioning? Who trembles at her voice? Tell me. Who fears her steps? Who among her people wouldn't slip a blade into her back? Oh, she did for me, it's true, and her coterie. And I had loyal retainers to the end. Loyalty and fear like a fist. She may have taken my place, but she'll never match my rule. If the Bloom hadn't turned against me after my decade in power, I'd be there still. But she dragged me to the heart of the beast and let it sift through my mind, fed it all my crimes, and then she left me there. He swallows. Ask your questions of me. While the fragments of memory still linger, ask now, and make the questions count. Oh, crap. Well, since I don't know how many of these we're going to get, I'm going to start with the ones that might be most directly useful and move outward. What happened in the heart of the Bloom? She brought me through a new maw, an entry to the heart I'd never seen. It was then that I knew what she intended, and we fought. But she was fast and strong, and I was old and drunk. She didn't kill me, though. Oh, no. She wanted me to suffer for the crime of raising her up. She bound me there, and she stood above me and reveled in my pain as the Bloom sucked away everything that I was. I'll say this for her. She was better at malice than I ever was. She was better at malice than ever I was. Such excruciating pain. Ah, but that memory slips as well, thank the gods. So tell me about your reign as the Memovra. He smiles, a cruel thing almost lost in his beard. I lived with my knife in my hand. I never lost my love for its kiss. I took what I wanted and I shared with the best of my crew. But I had laws, mind you, laws and strictures that kept the merchants pouring through the bloom. No sense in scaring off the easy meat, no need to be greedy. They said I was weak, but that was because they didn't know how strong I truly was. And that's why the bitch came for me. Too grasping she was. Matkina's face is more animated than you have ever seen it. Do you recall when we came down on the race pod and their trade-in scent stealers? You plugged their leader into his own machine, and the feedback melted his eyes, and then the rest of them. You said something to the bloom, and the floor wrapped around their ankles, and you had us go back to feed them for years, until their legs atrophied away. Yay! Matkina, my white death, is that you? I do remember that. He starts laughing, a hollow, ragged, terrible sound, a disused engine choked on pain. I remember that. You were magnificent that day. He turns back to you. Quick, ask another question. How did the Memovra unseat you? How did the new Memovra unseat you? She knew the bloom was angry with me. She told me she'd been below and had seen something that she thought might explain why I lost my bond. I didn't know she'd hidden her killers around the bloom, or that she was the one who'd ruined shipments or driven off the citizens. She'd put her muscle into play, and I never saw it. And she took me to the heart of the bloom. He swallows. Yeah. When you went down, Matkina says, her thugs moved in. They killed everyone in the fortress who had sworn for you. They hunted us down in the belly of the bloom. They cast us through maws under unfamiliar suns. I fled into the city with a few of your lieutenants, and we had to kill some of our friends to get through the gates. And once we'd settled up in there, she started hunting us in the city. She shakes her head. She cast aside years of tradition to hunt me. I'd sworn loyalty when you died. I hear an alarm going off. 1 second. And it stopped. Oh well. No idea what that was. Who knows? Who indeed knows? But you know, these are things we must check out from time to time to make sure that stuff is still happening. To make sure that stuff is still happening. To make sure that the world still spins. All right. Just checking my little messages there. Make sure everything's all right. Okay, good. Back to this. Let's see. I think that's someone's car alarm. Nothing you could have done. Nothing. She was bold and fast. What do you think of the new Memovra? Aye, the memories slip. Lights skittering down a tunnel. As I grab at them, they go. No, his voice bleeds. Stop them. They're me. A look of pity crosses Matkina's face. She catches her gaze, and she shakes her head and looks away. I know his pain, she says. I know. Okay. Who are you? His sockets stare into you for a moment while he considers. At last he shakes his head and says, I do not know. I have language and I have the memory of muscles, but I do not remember how I came by these truths. What I remember is waking in the depths of the bloom. I remember walking. I remember years of darkness before I emerged into the upper reaches at last. The bloom took something, took me, but gave me peace in its place. Okay. What happened to you? The bloom took my old life from me. I woke in its beating heart and gestated there, while it digested my memories. I remember being terrified, but I do not remember what terrified means. He shaked his head to clear it. I had a name, I had a body. I had emotion and a life outside of this form. But I do not remember any of those things now. I do not remember fear. I am reborn in a new life. I am free. What are you doing here? I walk through this larger part of me and let it guide my steps. The weapons of humans mean nothing to this shape, and the paths of the bloom open for me. I am a part of the bloom. It is a part of me. I have been to places others have never seen, and I have seen worlds that lie waiting beyond the maws. That could come in handy. You came from the depths of the bloom? What did you see down there? If I speak of them, the memories disappear from me forever. Yet thoughts themselves are ephemera, like our lives. Gone, and only those we choose to share have any hopes of continuation. Any hope of continuation. I can read. But even that memory is vanity. In a generation, who will remember these words? His socketless eyes look away and then back again. He smiles gently. Let me tell you what I saw. My memories are useless. Perhaps telling him will increase their life. Didn't you say that'd do the opposite? I don't know. Okay. The bloom reaches through dimensions and across realities. What did I see? I saw a vast beating heart. I traveled through skeins of the bloom's arteries and its viscera. I stood in open maws and looked out across alien landscapes where lost sailors mourn for home, or crystal fields glitter under distant stars. I walked through the slave block where the great Chila staged her revolution. What would you know? Oh, so many things. Tell me of the heart. A great chamber, the place where the bloom spawns and devours its voices, where its whispers gather in conclave, where its intelligence is strongest and sharpest. I woke there, and I knew it for my master. Dangerous, not to me, not anymore, but so hungry. Tell me of the bloom's viscera. Why not? Let's invite that, shall we? Good God. The gullet. Oh, a proper name and everything. That is its name among the bloom guides. A place of veins and flesh where the memories of the bloom's chosen, where they are digested. Echoes wander the place, echoes of the eaten. He holds a hand to his head as if pained. I recall stories of the abyss, the gates of Abaddon. The gullet could be their source. Tell me about the sailors. Lascars, they call themselves, holding fast to their history because they fear they have been forgotten. Old luxury and gilt banisters are their prison bars. Okay. What about the slave block? Chila was born there, not physically, but her legend, the first Memovra. He forces out this last word with an effort and a spray of intangible spittle, a wince on his face. She spoke to the bloom, and it answered her. The monument to her strength is a Murden nest now. A Murden nest, you say? Mema. Why is that word a struggle to recall? Yet it feels strong, right? Well, you know. Some jobs you just can't ever shake. I want to hear about the crystal fields. A great plateau's towers bedazzle the eye. Lightning flickers among the towers, and strange silicate beings tunnel beneath the glassy surface. Cool. There have I watched children of stars and information speak to one another through dancing colors. Huh. Fiber optics of a sort? Oof. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit under... Yeah. Energy is a little down today. We'll see what's happening, perhaps later. Okay. Have you been to any of those places? No. I stand at the tip of the tendril and watch the landscape pass by as the great devourer prepares to latch itself to another world. Why would I ever step outside my host? I am without danger here. Each day another piece of myself slips away. Yeah, sure. Sounds like you're doing great here. I'm going to take this off for a minute. I won't be able to hear the sound of the game, but I'm... There's a, Yeah. Wow, okay. It's that thing when one sometimes feels randomly lightheaded. Okay, let me ask you about something else. If I can recall the answer. And I think these are really all... Yeah. Tell me who you are again? I cannot remember. Okay. Farewell. By the Black Three, Matkina says. Her voice is quiet, reverent. I never dreamed the power in this place. If I could tame it, make its strength mine. Oh God, no. Is that what you want? Would you sacrifice centuries of life for a few years of this? You saw the price. What power did you see? You can have it. You don't know the strength my boss had. I didn't know what he had. You could work wonders with that strength. You could destroy everyone who ever opposed you. That really worked out for him. But what you have to go through to get it, the price isn't worth it. It's worth thinking about. Good God. Ah, gold tide. You don't get it, do you? For a time, he was one of the most powerful people in the world. And few even know who he was. He burned bright and fast. She considers. But you're right, if we survive this, it's a skist trade. Fine, you've convinced me. Let's make sure we stop the sorrow then, yeah? Yeah. Despite the gold tide raising, I think that was helpful. Come on, she bows to the old man, and farewell to you, sir. Farewell. Oh. Okay, let me actually save the game here so that we retain this. Yeah, the vast interior walks without. What? Yes. That alarm is actually still going off. It's just happening intermittently. Intermittently. I can use words. Huh. I'm just gonna get a quick glimpse, I think. I'm just gonna try to get a quick glimpse to see if I can figure out what's happening out there. One moment, please. Nope, can't tell. Can't tell where it's coming from. But, yeah, none of the cars in my field of vision on at my windows are telling me anything, so... Yep, there we go. Okay. Back to this. The game is saved! Sign reads, "This way to Little Niliesh," in a difficult-to-understand scrawl. So I guess down this way. Arechi, Lascar. Ah! See, now I'm tempted, though, because I'm tempted to map out the entirety of this area before I go to Little Niliesh. But... dealing with Little Niliesh first is probably going to be helpful. Still, while we're here... Lascar. Intricate. Codex entry. Not in your tongue is for Irachi to speak. Simple soldiers we are. The film's a schedule. I
Yes.
can't pronounce those things
Now.
correctly. Let's see. Okay. Arechi. These three humanoids... lungs. These three humanoids wear intricately carved armor that makes them look like undersea dwellers or of legend. You cannot recall having seen the material from which they are shaped either. Though the suits are bulky, their wearers move with a strange and fluid grace. You might have mistaken them for monsters, but their leader is unhelmed and appears human. She has close-cropped hair, an angular face, and her jaw is clenched, as if she were subconsciously chewing on a problem. At your approach, she gives you an irritated glance. You address the Jemadar. Jemadar? The Jemadar. Jemadar Arechi. Speak what you need or be gone.
Making a note.
I got a quest, apparently. Then she reconsiders her words. Ordinarily, hospitality is ours. Forgive this one. The maw to our anchorage is closed. She indicates the hideous tentacled mouth that lies dead in the center of the platform. Another way we must find. Have you word of open maws that lead to our station? She lowers her voice. Beseech you, even. Trapped here with the supplies we purchased for our compatriots. This world is getting to me, and the frustration of speaking in a foreign tongue. If you want me to help you, you'll need to answer some questions. Her jaw unclenches by the smallest fraction. Naturally, this one will seek to provide informative truth. How did you come to be trapped here? Left the anchorage where our ancestors have served for centuries, sought to resupply as we have so many times before. Upon return, the way was closed. Again, she indicates the dead maw at her feet. Worried now that comrades may suffer without us. Or worse, what if our ship returns while we are absent? No, that's too terrible a thought. Oh. Tell me about your anchorage. Tell me of your city of Anchorage in the far snowy Alaska. No. All the refuge we've ever known. We await the ship that will end our mission and take us home. Captain Janor commands us. If you find the maw and speak to her, perhaps she can tell you more. In a way, I suppose the anchorage is our home. After all, we have never known another. Where should I go look for maws? This one hoped you would know. This one hoped you would know. We are strangers here. Buying supplies is all we know, not hunting maws. She looks down at the dead maw on the platform. Here was the maw that led to our anchorage. Here it had been for many years, yet on our return, dead. I'll see what I can do. Farewell. Farewell. I'm not entirely sure what it is we're doing. Marooned on an alien shore. I have met armored humans in the vast interior. They traveled to the bloom through a maw, but that maw has died, and now they're trapped. Okay, that much I got. They're looking for a way back to their anchorage. Okay. According to Arechi, she and her companions came from a place that they called an anchorage. I should look for a maw that leads there. Okay, just finding another maw. That's basically what we're talking about. And yeah, they were talking about finding a maw, but I'm like, finding a maw to reopen this maw? I wasn't sure. Yes. Yes, just in case. We must save always! Okay, here we go.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
It really bothers me that they didn't change change her dialogue option, or her dialogue, after she throws all away.
All right.
Actually, no, she picked all back up, didn't she? I can't remember. As you enter the slum, you nearly crash into a small confrontation. There we go. 5 mutants surround three guards, dressed in the distinctive garb of the Mamavra's enforcers. This must be one of Bruska's lost patrols. Okay. Before you hear them say a word, you already know the mood here is ugly, and it's likely to turn to violence soon. A mutant who looks like his face is full of spores or insect eggs, leans toward a disgusted, terrified human, and says, "You're leaving a trail of fear, piss! Who'd pay you for protection?" We're done with the Mamavra. She's out. One of the other guards, less phased, pushes the mutant back. "It ain't fear, piss, it's the spit you're spraying when you talk. Why don't you go at your eggs by burying your face in a pillow? Real people are conducting business here." Real pillows, hold your head up high. Alright. A spiny mutant. A second mutant, one who'd been observing the fracas, noticeably bristles, thorns literally emerging from his arms, shoulders, and face as he pushes forward. "Every damned one of you. Looks the same. 2 arms, 2 legs, no surprises. You want to collect our money? I'll make you eat it and your friends can collect it from your rotting shit." Ah, great. That's very colorful. That's very... The mutant punctuates each sentence with an increasingly vicious stab of its finger. You can feel a bloody tide rising, and you wish to intervene the clock. And if you wish to intervene, the clock is winding down. Oh, crap. So it's a crisis, but one that, Right, gain the mutant's trust, or choose a side by talking to both sides' leaders. Oh yes, let's have Eritus talk to the spiny mutant. You focus on the thorn-covered mutant and the weight of your gaze turns his head. "What do you want, human? You want in on a long due bloodletting? You'd better talk fast. We're itching to get started." I hate that now that I've sent Eritus to do this. The spine-covered mutant's eyes remain focused on the Mamavra's enforcers, his mouth drawing thinner and thinner. "Attack!" No. Ask the mutant leader how the situation started. Ask who's in charge. Ask how the Mamavra might retaliate. Sure, ask how it started. He snorts. "They came to collect their protection money for the Mamavra, but the Mamavra can't enforce anything. She's weak, everyone knows it. Look at these poor specimens. They can't even protect themselves." Skepticism and distrust mar the mutants' already unpleasant faces. They don't know or trust you. So... we can try persuasion. I'm not great at it, but we can give it a shot. Rin's actually probably better at persuasion than anyone else, but 65 isn't terrible. Ah, excellent. Success! The mutant's leader looks at his fellows and back at you, and he makes some calculations. We understand you want to stay on the Mamavra's good side, he replies, but this has to end. Unless you can think of another way, we gotta put them down before they steal the last shin in Little Niliesh. The atmosphere of rage and hate seems to be fading. You even see one of the mutants smile. At least it looks like a smile. Okay, Rin, I'm gonna have talk to the sergeant, because I think Rin is also persuasive. Oh, heavens. What would you have of us? Suggest the Mamavra's enforcers will... Deception, intimidation. The Mamavra's enforcers will come to check on the patrol shortly. That's what Mamavra does with the... I mean, it's giving me an option here. I'm a little concerned. Just a little. Two out of three ain't bad. No! I don't know. The patrol schedules have been spotty lately, and we had another one go missing just the other day. He clamps his mouth shut, but hastily adds, but the Mamavra spared no expense to find them. No one believes him. The thugs seem calm for men whose lives are being threatened. They recognize the words, but they don't seem to believe they're in much danger. Alright. Now Matt Kino will slice him open. No. Ask what the Mamavra does with the collections. She pays us mostly, and the mercenaries who come... She pays us mostly, and the mercenaries who come through the maws, and the bribes to the Sagas Cliffs officials. She's been falling further and further behind on those payments. He swallows it. Oh, hello, Origami Shuriken, hi. Just doing a bit of Torment Tides of Numenera. He swallows and looks at the mutants around him. Mark not she'll want vengeance if we fail. She needs this money. And she'll use her nastiest tricks to get it back. The mutant leader shifts his weight as the sergeant speaks, but he does not retreat. Mercenaries going to bribes to the officials. Okay. The thugs are alert, but they're not frightened. They don't seem to believe that violence is imminent. Okay. The Mamavra's goons aren't welcome here anymore. Back off, mutant. This doesn't end well for you. See, we calmed the mutants down. We just gotta calm the sergeant down somehow. And ask questions. Ask how it started. He coughs a bit at what Hacken says. We make this route every month. We're collectors. It's our job to bring in revenues for the Mamavra from our loyal subjects. He pauses as the mutants break out raucous, derisive laughter, then continues. But they laid in wait for us and got the jump on us as we walked into Little Niliesh. The thugs are alert, but they're not frightened. They don't seem to believe that violence is imminent. Okay. There's gotta be... There's nothing left, is there, but attacking, right? Step away. Offer to pay to let the humans go. That may be all that's left. Ask how the Mamovra might retaliate. Indigo tide raised. She might have some tricks hidden away. Then again, maybe not. We're willing to risk it to be free of these villains. Am I not right, friends? The mutants no longer look to their thorny leader. They're watching you. They want to avoid violence. Great. Alright. We can give this a shot. Persuade the mutants to let the humans go. Oh, good. Well, let's use the 100% then, if we're being given it. We had advantage here. Advantage on this. Addendum added. Rumblings of discontent. We had assets to this conversation, rather. The mutant's leader looks at his fellows and back to you, and he makes some calculations. As you say, he replies, scowling at his companions. He says to them, "These are deaths we can save for another time. No point in bloodshed with outsiders witnessing." They too look at you, and some unspoken agreement fills their eyes. The human sergeant wastes no time. "My thanks," he says over his shoulder as he hustles his troops toward the exit. "We won't forget this." "Much obliged for your help. The Mamovra will hear of this." Okay, well, that at least takes care of that for now. So glad I didn't have to actually fight. Yay, tension! I do not actually have a lot longer. I've got some time. I'm gonna see if I can stick it out a little bit longer. To continue, at least see if I can find those particular thugs we're looking for. We're on a thug hunt. Hunt. Yeah. I don't know what it is today. Okay. This ancient stone structure seems out of place in the bloom. Similar buildings are scattered around the chamber as if an entire town was swallowed up by the bloom and deposited here in the distant past. In the distant past. Oh, in the distant past. This happened rather than... No time travel. This is just... Yes, in the distant past, this happened. Okay, gotcha. What do we have here? More things. Crimper. Whatever it is, I can't examine it from here. Mutant. Oh, that's lovely. That's a maw. That's an active maw. Okay. Probably want to find out where that goes, but not by going through. Gar Koto. Apparently, we talked to Gar Koto. Mutant guard. You touch it, young mutants. What if it shocks me? This structure was built in a style you'd never seen before. The stone is pitted and ancient. Wondor. That thing's moving a bit. See if I can actually get the cursor back so that I can... There we go. This appears to be the back end of the crashed vehicle you saw in the Mamavra's courtyard. Ah, yes. Where we thought access was possible. I kind of want to look in there. Oh, there they are. Delny and Vrung. Okay. There's someone named Herja. Okay, and then we're back around here. Okay. Cool, okay. So our rough plan... Oh, there's a gateway to the Katina interior. It's obviously we can get through there. That's a maw. That's a spherical tank. These are we. These are we. And there are the specific people, the shadow people we needed to talk to. Okay. Mutant, mutant, mutant. Mutant, spiny mutant. Once, just once. I want to show them Imhover's goons how strong they aren't. Probably better that we didn't kill those thugs. We scared them, and now they'll treat us with more respect. Those humans were lucky, and you were there to help. Next time you won't be. They won't be either. They won't be either. Right. Yes. You smell those goons before they ran away? At least one of them filled his trousers. Can't read what you're saying. You think those goons will come back? If I do, I'll bet they'll bring more friends. That's more likely. Although, given what's happening with patrols, maybe not. There are a lot of people around here I want to chat with and explore and examine, but we're gonna take care of business first. Hopefully. Although, I mean, there is always the option of talking to other people and finding out things about them. But, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's take care of business. Alright, here we go. Delny, this slim girl is almost a mirror of the boy who stands next to her. They could be twins or clones, so close is the resemblance. You can see that her features are sharp, though shadows flit and play too quickly across her face to be sure of anything else. She slumps almost... Was there, like, something land or collide there? That was weird. Okay. Rubble is falling. Shadows flit and play too closely across her face to be sure of anything else. She slumps almost imperceptibly inside her cloak of darkness. As you open her mouth, her companion interposes himself. And her thoughts say, "Help!
Updated my journal.
This sharp-faced young man reminds you of a great rodent. It happened again! There's things falling. More prone to scampering and more prone to scampering and sidling. See, it's just not coming. The ability to speak is not coming to me today. More prone to scampering and sidling than running or walking. Shadows play across his face, distorting his features, and you are unable to get a clear glimpse of his face. Even so, or perhaps especially because of it, he seems to bear a notable resemblance to the young woman standing next to him, their faces shifting and changing in near perfect time. At your approach, he sniffles loudly and drools some phlegmy spit across your path. Yay, more phlegm! He wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and though you can't see his face, his tone conveys the sneer clearly enough. What you want, Popinjay? His voice echoes eerily, a slight delay between the movement of his lips and the sound reaching your ears. Scan thoughts. I don't like the look of this one. Better get rid of him fast. Who's the girl with you? You're the pair who's been harassing Kian. Who are you? What are you doing here? What can you tell me about this place? She's no one. I am Vrung. I asked who the girl with you is. I said she's no one you need to be concerned about. She's my shadow and my hidden blade, and you should take care I don't stick you with her. I want to know more. Okay. I want to know. Okay. Are you the pair who's been harassing Kian? He laughs at you. But has she been complaining that we're too mean, too scary? She can afford it, else we'd be visiting someone else more regularly. What if I paid you 125 shins to leave Kian alone? If I hear that you've been bothering Kian anymore, I'll tear your eyes out and wear them as a necklace, got it? Charming. What are you doing here? What can you tell me about that? Before we resort to intimidation, what are you doing here? He looks at you incredulous. His voice dripping with sarcasm, he replies, "We're enjoying the fresh air, taking in the ambience. We are living our lives to their fullest." He looks at the young woman next to him, and she begins to titter. "Laugh, Delny, we're having a great time." What can you tell me about this place? "It's a parade every day. Don't let the looks fool you. Little Neliash is all about the laughter. Maybe you could let the fluid out of Garkoto's tank. That's a prank that never gets old. Make sure you do it while the guards are watching." I feel as though he is not being entirely honest with us here. "I want to know about the girl with you. Tell me of her." "Why do you keep asking about her? Delny is mine, and she will stay mine until I say otherwise. I am the one who's interesting. I am the one you should care about." Oh, it's toxicity. Why won't he let this go? This guy is pissing me off. Vrung's rage seems to have loosened his control over his companion, for you see a flash of blue skin beneath the shadows. Her mouth works frantically, as if she's trying to tell you something while her captor struggles with his fury. With an effort of visible will, Vrung brings himself and her back under control again. So before we intimidate them, the psychic bond you have on Delny, remove it. He laughs, a shivering peal of mirthless joy that sounds like ice breaking and glass ringing. "She is mine. She'll go on my word. Not on my word, not yours. Oh, bleeding heart. They can't do nothing about it." Strangle him! So we could use might. Or which we don't have a lot of right now. Or we could try to intimidate him. Let's try the intimidation route first. Oh my god. I don't have a lot I can... Yeah. No. And no. And... 25%'s not great. I really wish I'd given him more, I'd given, Eratus more ability to do this. More effort. Well, we'll try it. That didn't go well. "Did you learn to talk like that in hero school? Maybe you didn't hear me when I said she was mine." Alright, here we go. No, you do it. You're better at that. Good God. This isn't going to go well.
I'll remember that.
You grab hold of his neck, but he pries your fingers loose and slips away, eyes filled with fear. He turns to run, and as he does, the shadows surround him completely and then coalesce into a single point. With a loud pop of displaced air, he is gone. Well, at least that worked. Delny drops to the ground as he vanishes, and her body begins to tremble and shake. Am I free? Oh, the gods, the pain, make it stop. Try to help her remain calm. Let's see, so... If you do it, we have 80%. If you do it, we have 90%. 45. 20. Alright. Why can we spend more effort on this than on the rough physical stuff? Oh well. You do it. Success! Her eyes snap open in blind terror, seeking any refuge from the nightmares that seem to be replaying in her head. She sees you then, and she begins to relax immediately, her muscles unclenching one by one, and she eases out of her seizure. "Thank the gods you're not Vrung," she whispers. Oh, hey. The shadows have peeled away, drifting into the air like poisonous smoke and revealing Delny's true form. Her skin is an iridescent blue, and her hair is bright pink. He's really gone. I can't feel him in my mind. You did it. Fad be praised, you did it. She shakes her head as if to clear it, and a small trickle of bluish blood runs from the corner of her mouth, where she bit her tongue or lips. I don't know how to thank you. You must have questions. Tell me about yourself. I was born in Niliesh, and my parents were good people. I learned the walkways of the second tier by heart. That's how I discovered the portal to the Bloom. I kept seeing the traders who came back from there, and they always had such interesting wares. One day I snuck after them. I wanted to see where they came from. Her face darkens. That was the day the Bloom closed its pathway to my home. I used to think it was my fault, but the Bloom doesn't seem to care for me now. After I got here and discovered I couldn't go home, I had to find a way to survive. I found 5 families who were willing to help me, and who could afford to feed me once every few days. I helped them when I could and kept looking for a way home, but as I got older, she looks embarrassed. I needed more excitement. That's when I met Vrung. She looks away, unwilling to say much more. I should have known better, but I was so lonely. No, never again. It was my psychic power that drew him to me. He saw what I had. He wanted to use it for himself. He called me an empathic amplifier. I could read people and I could make their feelings stronger. He used me to find out who the scared people were, and then we preyed on them. Right, okay. How did you fall in with Vrung in the first place? He seemed dark and fascinating. The adults didn't want me to go near him, but he was like a mirror of what I wanted to be. Strong, mysterious, ambitious. I let him bend me and used my powers to make him more of what he wanted to be. And I didn't realize I was trapped until it was too late. Hey, it's a metaphor. Yeah. You've had quite a time of it. How are you feeling? Even though I'm still in the Bloom, even though we're still surrounded by all this, even though I need to make amends to everyone I robbed and bullied with Vrung, I feel hopeful. It feels like a new beginning, like the night has been peeled away and discarded. Okay. Well, farewell. I have to be with you. And also with you. So, quick question then. Journal. So, I found Delny and Vrung at the end of the alley in Niliesh. Now I need to find a way to stop them from harassing Kian. I've dealt with Delny and Vrung. Okay. I should return to Kian and tell her what happened. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing where at this point, you know, we didn't get them to promise not to, but at the same time, now that they're split up, that's probably going to be much less likely. You know, until Vrung finds someone else. Rumblings of discontent has advanced as well. So Briska told me 2 missing patrols are equipped like the rest of them were Mavra's thugs instead of leather armor. If I find them, I should inform Briska. Briska said that the missing patrols should be somewhere in the vast interior or the surrounding slums. I encountered one of Briska's missing patrols in Little Niliesh. They got into trouble with some mutants, but I helped them escape. Okay. All right. So I think what I will do now, because we're ebbing here, we're ebbing horribly. I'm going to go ahead and save and see if we can get back over there and see if having dealt with that helps with the price of of sleeping. In a post-Vrung world. What is life like in the post-Vrung world? Let's see. Okay. Nice character designs here. Okay. We're going to come back and check this place out.
Let's go.
But we must rest. I mean, there's still plenty of things we haven't used up, but at the same time, I'd feel much safer if we got some rest.
Yes.
Yes! We'll deal with this shortly. Just tearing ahead of everybody. If you find yourself wondering where to go or what to do, check the journal screen to refresh your memory. It is updated automatically anytime you make progress in the story. I'm going to tell you the tale of the courtyard of memory returns. It starts here and ends here. Okay. Yeah. Kian raises her head in a businesslike manner, belied only by her surroundings. You've returned. I don't suppose you've learned anything new about Delny and Vrung. Delny won't be bothering you anymore, and Vrung is gone. For good, I hope.
Making a note.
XP! Well, she says, the doubt in her voice clear. I certainly hope you're right. Regardless, you've done more than I ever could, and you have my gratitude. She produces a pouch from her pocket. Please accept this in thanks. If Vrung is truly gone, I can afford a little excess. Also, you may feel free to sleep here at any time, no charge. Yes! Success! Oh, thank goodness! I wonder what he could have done to Vrung. I hope he remains amiable toward me. Ah, that's nice. We gained a heat cup. This cup appears to have been roughly carved in one piece from a graphite material. It leaves a black residue on your fingers any time you touch it. Certain, but not all, liquids poured into this cup will be heated to a boiling point immediately. There's no apparent pattern in what liquids it will or will not heat up. But it seems to activate specifically with synthetic liquids. And machinery lore tells us there is no discernible power source on the device. Enabling it to heat the liquids. It could be the graphite material itself as the source of that energy. Because it is so difficult to activate, it does not seem to be possible to tap directly into the cup's power source. But it is an oddity. You know, it's just, keep liquids warm. But it's worth 498 shins. So this is another of those oddities we can sell and get a nice profit on. I'd like to sleep here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to save, just in case there's some sort of time-dependent thing or other thing I can do to save on stuff I expend. Or, well, you know what? It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Not in this case. We're gonna sleep. I'd like to sleep here. Of course, she waves toward an empty tent. I'll bring you some food shortly, and I'll tell you some stories if you like. Enjoy your night. Yay! Actual sleep!
I can stand a little more of that.
I should...
I'm 6 times better than I was seconds ago.
Yep. See? Isn't that good? Rested. Oh my god. That's so nice. Look at that. Full meters. Yay! And this, once again, RPGs, where you can live out your fantasy of getting 8 hours of sleep a night. It's so true. Alright, so with that, I'm going to save the game. And I actually do need to get going. It is time. It is time. I must do this thing. Apparently humans have this thing called lunch. And I have to do that thing. In a post-sleep world, yay! Yay! Okay. Well. How very nice. All right. thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Made that goal, finally, of getting a nap. The primary goal. Sometimes, one's primary goal, sometimes in life, is to catch a nap. That's always helpful. Makes one long for the days. One could actually sleep for 8 hours at a time. I did that once. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I think it's measured in years. Thank you all very much for coming and watching this. I'm excited to explore more of the Bloom, to look at the those areas we didn't hit when we went down to the through the vast interior and down to Little Neleash. I kind of want to see what else is down there. I want to access the back half of that that craft that the Bloom swallowed up. I can actually possibly get in there, and so I just want to see what secrets are within. Very, very keen to do that. So I'm looking forward to coming back and doing this next week. But in the meantime, what's going on? So, in the realm of tabletop role-playing, tomorrow night I'm going to be over on Weave the Tale, playing in Fate of Cthulhu, the Return of Carcosa, where we're all trying time traveling. No, well, yeah, I think we're all basically time travelers at this point, and we're trying to stop the King in Yellow from returning. What else do we have happening? We have the so I have back on this channel on Sunday afternoons, whenever we're all available, we play in a Dark Matter campaign. That's the Mage Hand Press Dark Matter, not the Alternity Dark Matter, where it's just sort of fantasy in space, fantasy beings in sci-fi style space, and it's a lot of fun. And we're on an ocean planet that's going to kill us all. It's great. Let's see, on Tuesday nights on this channel I am running a short campaign of Urban Shadows set in present-day Rome, Italy. Slowly the party is unlocking the various mysteries of the city and figuring out things that are going on, which is cool. That's most of it, I think. I'm trying sort of on Wednesdays is one that seems to be that I am doing more Cities Skylines. But I may do it randomly at other times. I don't know. I haven't really pinned that specifically to Wednesdays, but Wednesdays is when it seems to be happening more often than not. I want to sit down when I have a lot of time and play it so that I can progress on the city that I'm building. And then of course that brings us back to this, which I'm doing on Fridays. And very glad I got some of this in today because we progressed. We're getting closer to the end finally. So very eager to see how that goes. But I think that will be about it. So I will see you folks next time. In the meantime, take care, and well, I'll see you all of a sudden.